What could be more important to Star Trek than the moment that Jean-Luc Picard is, wait, I don't want to give it away. Let's watch the episode, shall we? This is a pre-recorded episode. Flobo Boyce is working this weekend. I actually have to run out of here pretty fast myself, so it's going to be a quick episode. And welcome to Starbase 80. What's up, and welcome to Starbase 80. It's me, your old pal, Captain John, and really special episode this time. Really special for so many reasons. So many parts of this episode are special. The show we're going to do, one of the iconic episodes of The Next Generation, The Best of Both Worlds, Part 1. But, and I'm so thrilled to tell you this, the really special part of this is, just as every episode, I welcome you to join me and Flobo Boyce. But this time, Flobo Boyce is in the room. Flobo!
Hey, it's me! We made it! It's real! You're a real person! Not a holodeck simulation! I love holodeck episodes, they're great. Anyway, welcome to Starbase 80!
We're actually in the same room. That has never happened during this show or during Commander's Log when I started doing your show.
The whole pandemic was crazy. You may have heard about it.
And so we're just boosted and vaccinated.
True.
So, you know, we're not just playing with fire here. We actually know what we're doing, and we're happily doing it with you. Welcome, Flobo.
It's nighttime here, but it's going to be Sunday morning, 11 o'clock over there, and I'm so glad to be part of this. I have a beverage as well.
Yeah, you get yourself...
I cannot be parched, so we talk about one of the best episodes of Star Trek ever.
I mean, okay, look. Best of Both Worlds, especially Part 1, the one we're doing today. Best of Both Worlds is known. The dog's crying. Shall I let her in?
I don't know. I mean, you have a dog? I know he has a dog, y'all. He has a dog, and it's apparently outside this door. I was telling him before when I was watching the show, being as co-host, that I thought there was like a void, a pattern buffer on the other side of this door, but there's apparently a dog there. That's crazy.
I mean, there's a dog. There's also a hallway full of stuff. And, you know, honestly, I can't bring up the dog and not bring
Yeah, let's do it. Let's talk about, in the meantime, while he gets the dog, I just want to say the Best of Both Worlds Part 1 was the first time ever watching it. It was kind of an interesting thing because it is TNG.
She went straight to the sofa.
She did not want to deal with being on the show.
This is Petra.
Hey there.
Petra.
Let's get that little...
And Flobo are meeting for the first time.
Oh, hey. She does not want to be on camera.
She's so hard to get on camera. Petra, I never let you do this. Do you want to jump up on me? No, you want to jump on Flobo?
Yeah, because I smell great. That's what it is.
You do smell great. I'm blocking the dog nose.
This is what happens with live television, live internet, live entertainment. Yeah, there it is. There she is.
That is Petra.
Hey.
She's a rescue dog. She is a husky German Shepherd mix and is so happy to live on this farm where we live.
Crazy farm with avocados and oranges.
And she gets to chase all kinds of. She chases ground squirrels. She chases gophers.
Yeah.
I have seen her murder every one of them.
Oh my Lord.
We get these giant gopher snakes out here because we got so many delicious gophers.
Yeah.
And she will actually get into it with these giant gopher snakes, which is terrible because they're
so innocent now.
Oh,
She was just a cold-blooded killer.
she's cold. She's a murder princess.
Wow.
She's daddy's little murder
This
princess.
is premium content, y'all. Totally off the rails. But I love it. Petra's a name. Any last names? No names?
No, just Petra.
Okay. Yeah.
Petra, although I imagine she would use my wife and my names hyphenated when she finally goes to college. So
Yeah, where's she going to college?
Petra Upson Weber will probably be going to Murder University.
Does Petra love Star Trek or no?
Petra does not love Star Trek, but she's okay with it. But I think I told you this before. She hates pro wrestling.
See, I don't know why. I mean, it's the best thing ever.
I think she's kind of snobby.
Oh, I see how it is.
That could
It's
be.
fake, no.
She's so in love with you. Look at that.
Well, it's crazy because dogs actually make me totally afraid, but I'm trying to make sure that I can be as professional as I can hugging Petra because fear is not a factor for me. Right, Petra? Right,
Yep.
girl?
What makes me so happy about this was sometimes with German Shepherds, they might be racist.
Oh, might be. They're the poster dogs for being racist. I bet Scruff McGruff didn't get the job and gone to a German Shepherd. Take a bite of crime.
I think you've been barked at a few times, if I could guess.
Yeah.
But I've been barked at quite a few times
I
myself.
got bitten by a dog in 2 different countries and 2 different continents.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
That is not a good record. We do not want to add to that.
No, we don't.
So yeah, that's look, we got a huge jump in the ratings just because of this beautiful girl dog.
You got to make sure you get the ratings in there. But let's talk about it. Best of Both Worlds Part 1. So first time watching it for me.
Mhm.
How many times have you seen it?
That's a good question. I've actually watched it multiple times. I think I may have seen this, including watching it for you and I doing this. This might be like my 7th or 8th time seeing it.
Oh, wow.
It is a groundbreaker for a lot of reasons. Flobo, by the way, is delicious.
Apparently. And ladies, I'm single.
And you don't have to be half husky to appreciate. Although I wouldn't have, you don't mind a half husky woman.
No.
I sure don't. We're not shamers here.
We're getting that award, I tell you.
Oh, we're getting so many awards for this one. The great thing about this episode is it really opens up a couple of characters. It does put our very, at this point, everyone knows Jean-Luc Picard.
True.
The next generation, very clearly Picard's show. But we want to know more about the other people on the ship as well. And we do get to spend some time with them, like when they play cards. They get together and play poker. Okay. All right. What is that feeling? And why are you feeling it?
Here's the dealio, man. I'm just putting it out there that I understand cards and cards are great. But an episode with 2 parts, it just seems like filler. It just seems like there's other ways to get that across. The whole big kerfuffle, as mom would say, rigmarole, as mom would say, all these other words that she would say.
It's a good word.
Yeah, man, for sure.
We begin the show with a distress call.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, this episode debuted on June 18th of 1990. It is the 26th final season finale of the 3rd season. And the distress call is calling the Enterprise to go out to a very far outlier.
Yeah.
They are looking for the New Providence colony on the surface of Joret 4. Jure.
Yeah, I think it was Jury 4. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Sounds French.
And no sign of life anywhere. As a matter of fact, when they get there, it looks like somebody took an ice cream scoop and just scooped out the whole colony. It's gone. It is gone.
And that would be a totally better episode. But no, we are stuck with something that's even, dare I say, lamer.
Oh, man. You do not like this episode?
I would say this. I understand 2-part episodes. I understand cliffhangers.
Yeah.
To get from point A to point B was a round the moon situation. Now, I know with DS9, you can't deny the importance of this episode. You can't deny it. Look,
No.
we'll get to the why. But
Absolutely.
but what I'm saying is, it's like, I feel like there was 40 minutes there. There could be other story beats there, but we got like a lot of filler in a way that I didn't necessarily care for. So we talked to the commanders. We talked about the poker scene. To me, it was totally necessary.
Okay. And here's why you're wrong.
Damn!
What we're getting is a subplot of this officer named Shelby.
Mm-hmm.
And now Petra, everything's fine, sweetheart. You don't have to be upset. I need her name.
Commander Shelby?
I need her name. It is a commander, right? Commander
I
Shelby.
believe it's Commander, because Riker was like, Commander? She's like, yeah, command that ass.
Well, and if only.
Nah.
There's a lot of tension between Riker and Shelby.
Okay, yeah.
And Shelby, still can't find her. Okay, Shelby. Oh, it's just Shelby. Fine.
Yeah.
Played by Elizabeth Dennehy. You know, I never looked up to see if she was related to Brian Dennehy.
Imagine if she was.
That would be cool.
Yeah, Brian Dennehy was a man. He was in that show, like Crime and Punishment. Was?
Oh, see, I remember Dennehy being on. He was in Gorky Park. He was great in that. FX. You ever see?
No, I haven't.
The FX movies. He was really good in that.
Oh, okay.
Cocoon.
Yeah, Cocoon's a classic. Yeah. A young Brian Dennehy. Yeah.
Wow, they spent like 5 minutes talking about an actor who wasn't in the show. This is the best episode of Starbase 80 ever. Shelby is a young commander. She wants to be a first officer. She wants a great job, and she makes it pretty clear she wants the Enterprise.
Oh yeah, but I don't know, man. We had a whole season with Riker, well, multiple seasons with Riker, and it just comes out of nowhere. And Riker wasn't feeling it, and I wasn't feeling it too. She has an agenda, and I understand people are going to say, no, it's good to have people to challenge Riker. It's good to have these new, fresh characters.
Yeah, absolutely.
But he seems kind of out of nowhere. I mean, who really goes to work early? Really? I don't do that. Do you do that, chat? Let me know in the comments below. You go to work early just for funsies.
Shelby is a go-getter. She's also right now the expert on the Borg.
Yes.
Which makes her an ex-Borg.
That's a pun, y'all. I love puns.
The placement of Shelby on the ship also becomes a moment where the guy she's working for, the Admiral, Admiral Hansen.
Yeah.
By
the way, dope fashion sense. The man knows what's really important.
I did like that uniform.
Yeah, pretty swanky.
You know, when you're an older guy, you just don't want to wear the pajamas.
Oh yeah.
Kind of mix it up, kind of make it a little
Starfleet Brooks Brothers catalog. I totally get
it. He is, of course, pushing Shelby into the Enterprise because the Enterprise is the closest ship who can take on the Borg. We're at the Borg. It's happened, people. We've been warned.
So you are pro Borg, I guess.
I actually thought the Borg were a tremendous villain because you've got the sort of the unstoppable qualities of the Cybermen. That's a Doctor Who reference. But there are these machine monsters, but the human bodies that they've taken over, they've completely taken over. So you've also kind of got a zombie thing going on.
You see, I get it. For most Star Trek fans, the Borg is like the top pantheon of villains, and it's great. And
They're
we
near
see
the top.
They're near the top, and I get it. But I gotta be honest with you, the writing here didn't really sell it to me. It felt like, okay, we're the Borg. We're evil because we say we're evil. I understand they're not robots. They're like they're kind of stiff, but I get it. But the dialogue was very like, we are bad because we say we're bad. You know what I mean? And maybe I'm spoiled. Maybe I grew up with too many Brainiac stories of why Brainiac tried to cull these cultures. But the Borg to me always fell flat, and 7 of 9 included, of course.
Right. Nothing flat about 7 of 9.
Hey now.
The interesting thing about the Borg is they are one of these very, very different kind of life forms. They're out there where hello, we're the aliens of the week.
Yeah.
Where should we park our problematic storyline?
Right. Right over here.
And what you've got with the Borg is the Borg are a hive mind. They have a central intelligence that they all feed off of. Just very not human, very not Vulcan, not Andorian.
Have their own agenda.
They have their own agenda, and their agenda begins. This is very clever. What we know about the Borg before is that they will harvest people's technology. If you come at them with your ship, they'll just take your ship and they'll use your technology and they'll absorb it.
Right.
But after running into the Enterprise the first time, which happened when we watched Q Who, if you remember that episode.
A classic of Starbase 80.
It is, actually. When that happened, the Borg learned. The Borg learned that humans are very different from them. And that inspired them to say, we're going to now absorb humans. They're not just absorbing technology.
We don't live long. We're kind of racist. We poop a lot. Why would we care about us? Why, John? Why?
Because of all the things in Star Trek that are positive about humans. We're resourceful. We react. We are, original. We're impetuous, but in a good way as well as in a bad way. Anyway.
I don't think I've seen Tholians. No one can touch that. Telosians have the little in their brains and their little veins. We're just a bunch of country bumpkins. I love going to space. Come on, John Archer, and then they want to go mess with us. Why?
Well, they now want to mess with every life form. They want to absorb every life form that they can, which is funny because no one's ever seen a Borg Tholian.
Nope. I mean, you got a cool.
What's up with
Discovery, season 6. Hit me up.
Come on.
Whatever.
Come on. You want some Tholians in your life.
Hot Tholian singles I'm all about.
So that is a new wrinkle in this episode. And we're learning a lot about the Borg because Shelby is an expert in the Borg. She really is helping a lot.
She says so. Barker is like,
Well, it's funny because the Admiral is saying so as well. And there is a moment where Captain Picard says, well, you sound quite taken with her, which is really inappropriate because she's so much younger.
It really is inappropriate, but I don't understand what the whole deal is. Was supposed to put Riker over as a playboy who met his match, or is it supposed to be one of those things where she's got her position because of her physical assets? What was that whole exchange about?
That whole exchange was about she is ascending really fast. She's rising up through the ranks.
But that
really
made
fast.
It creepy. I thought she was strictly great at her job, and it was so that asshole. Ew.
Well, I mean, he does say "Oh, I'm too old for her.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm too old for that."
Hell?
Which is funny because it means he thought about it.
Awful. Just awful.
Not appropriate. We're gonna need to see you in Starfleet HR.
Starbase 81.
You don't want Starbase 81. Oh, whatever you've heard about 80. Oh, it ain't nothing next to 81. So, it becomes clear that she's very ambitious. And during that conversation, the Admiral actually says to Picard, actually, I was hoping she would be your first officer. And Picard says, well, I already have a great first officer.
Sure do.
And that's when the Admiral reveals that Riker has been turning down promotions.
So
What?
I'm new to this newer to the
Yeah.
Star Trek universe and canon, and I know there's a bunch of stuff for Riker on the the Titan.
Yes.
But are there fan fiction about Riker agreeing to go on this assignment here? Was it Mercury? What was the name of the ship that he was going to do?
Oh yeah, what was that ship that they wanted him to go?
Because I feel like that'd be kind of a cool like fork for Riker and what he wanted to do. Because you talk about the Titan stuff for a lot of the non-canon novels, but you know, if you've seen G.I. Joe 2, you'll know that.
I just watched it.
Did you really?
I did. I love that
It's
movie.
like, yeah, you don't want to go on these upgrades. What's going on? These promotions. And it's kind of a cool thing to see what would happen if they did. What would you do watching G.I. Joe 2? What the hell?
Well, what was so funny about G.I. Joe 2 is, yeah, they do have this conversation, and it's Dwayne Johnson playing Roadblock.
Yeah.
Where they're like, you should get your own command. Why are you just hanging out here?
Yeah.
Let's see. The Melbourne?
Yes, the Melbourne.
Yes.
Not the Melbourne, because apparently people from Australia get really upset about that. The Melbourne.
Melbourne.
The Melbourne.
The Melbourne. It's my Australian accent, man.
Oh, that is pretty great.
Well, it's Australians hate it.
Okay.
You know who loves it?
What?
New Zealanders. I think it's hilarious.
Yeah, I bet that. I want to go to Australia. It's gonna be
Dude, you would work out well in
trying to
Australia.
get myself a little tour out there.
Yeah.
One of these days.
They got wrestling down there.
Do they?
They do.
Do they need announcers?
I'm sure they do.
Let's do it.
I'm sure a handsome announcer like you. Come on, you're a bag of gold.
Dogs love me, right, Petra? Why are you looking at that? I'm like,
We finally exhausted Petra.
yeah, I need to be licked a couple times. That's a pro tip for real life, y'all. Did you get licked a couple times? I get bored of you. Just cast you aside. Sorry, what was the Melbourne? Sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm just like, I'm just so happy she's not a racist. It's like making me cry.
Oh yeah, I mean she is eyeing me down though.
No, but because you're delicious.
Oh right. She did. Yeah, I am tasty.
Come on, that's where we're going with. This discussion about Riker not going for a captain's chair, it actually turns into a thing for him. And he actually has, like, he and Counselor Troy are actually sitting down in 10 forward in the bar having a session.
Yeah.
And he basically asks, and I like how Frakes is doing this too, because Frakes is like, wait, am I avoiding going forward? This is not me. I worked so hard to get here. I did so much to get here. And now I don't want to leave.
Mm-hmm.
What's wrong with me?
Well, any kind of person that does assistant editing, or even on this show where I am first officer, you're like, I'm doing my own show. No. Sometimes you want your captain to be the one to take all the responsibility, do all the extra work. You just slide in and help out when you can. Totally get that. Totally makes sense for a storyline.
Not only that, but I feel like a captain like Picard makes a first officer like Riker even more valuable.
Mm-hmm.
He asks for his opinions. The first officer is the one in charge of disciplining the crew. Mm-hmm. The one in charge of raising the level of professionalism on the ship. A captain should not be expected to have to work. You know, we talk about this on Strange New Worlds, that Una, the number one, is kind of redundant to Captain Pike.
Yeah.
She's another captain.
Yeah.
They're probably not as different. I don't think they're as different as Picard and Riker.
Yeah.
Does that sound right to you?
Picard and Riker are a little different because of the splitting of Kirk, right? You had like the captain of the ship, but it's more by the book versus the swashbuckling person. So yeah. I get the dynamic change, but I also understand that was like really shocking for long-term fans at the time. So.
It was terribly shocking. I can tell you for an absolute fact.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I loved about Star Trek: The Next Generation was that Captain Picard was such a stick in the mud.
Okay, yeah. I liked it too. I like the fact he was a little bit more by the book because I understand what the book was.
Yeah.
Because I felt like in TOS, there was a book But the kid was like, nah. But after a while, every episode, you're like, well, if we're defining rules, and what the hell the rules are there for? But him being, and I always joke on the show, go, play that order, because there was actually orders to be made to him to stop and whatever. But I like the fact that there was somebody there to go, what's my role? I'm gonna execute.
The terrible position that they are in now is that the Borg have figured out how to get past their shields.
Mm-hmm.
They've figured out how to create shields that Starfleet weapons can't touch.
Right.
They can't affect. And they just basically kick the Enterprise, the flagship Galaxy class monster of the fleet. They kick its ass in like a minute.
Done and done. See you next season, y'all.
Forcing them to have to escape into a nebula that looks like art that a stoned person made.
Okay, that's good.
And I say that as a person who has been stoned.
Oh,
I'm not talking down.
I mean, hey man, like there's nothing wrong. It's legal here. It's totally legal
so
here.
legal.
No judgment. No judgment.
Very legal. So we now have very little going for us.
Very little.
Enterprise, and it's very very frightening. And were you feeling the tension?
Yeah, there was a little bit of that. Hey, look, there's the pending threat. It's the Borg. They're adapting to us. But what happened was like it was almost comical, you know. Geordi trying to do like little fake tumbles, and everyone and everyone's like, "What did we do?"
Hey, they lost people.
Yeah, they lost people, sure, but I totally did not. It felt like a Keystone Cops. It felt like the Borg had no kind of opposition whatsoever.
Damn. Also, when they get on the bridge, the Borg finally attack and get on the bridge. They knock down all the shields, get on the bridge. They kick the ass of
and Worf. Say it.
They blast Worf off his feet.
Say it. Worf is a wuss.
No,
Why
Worf is not a wuss. Worf is not a wuss. Worf's a badass. It's just the Borg are more badass.
Everyone is more badass than Worf. Oh. That is the worst chief security officer on the planet. I have the
okay.
I'm sorry, Petra.
Sorry. Petra's crying.
I'm just putting it out there that everyone somehow has some way to beat up Worf.
Petra, it's okay. We're not upset. It's just, Worf is a great character.
No.
A real badass.
No, he isn't.
One of the best characters in all of Star Trek.
Not true.
And Flobo just doesn't agree.
I just feel like here's somebody with, again, I come from Discovery, so why do Collecting have hair? But besides the point, him getting his butt kicked every week, but whatever the threat is the same sign going, why does he only have a job? Why? If you're playing baseball and you strike out 9 times out of 10, you go down to the minors. Do you not?
Okay. For all we know, his average is actually high. You're just watching the games where he's whiffing. He's a badass when you're not looking.
Come on.
And that is the secret of Worf.
Whatever the secret is. Petra knows is bull crap. Right, girl?
So that brings us
right, girl? Yes.
To really what makes this episode so incredibly unusual. First off,
what makes it unusual?
Well, this is the first time in the history of Star Trek that they have done a two-parter where part 1 ends a season.
Okay.
So this part 1 of Best of Both Worlds ends season 3. And part 2 will begin season 4.
Okay.
So big cliffhanger.
So
big move.
From your experience, season 3, season 4, is that the peak of the show, or does it get better after 4? Or
honestly, yes, it gets better after 4, and one of the reasons why is when this event happens, which is the Borg, who now know who Picard is, kidnap him.
No,
they take him.
No,
and then when our heroes try to go rescue him, they find that he's been turned into a Borg. It's horrifying because here's a character that was The first two characters that I loved on this show
Tell me.
were Data,
Okay.
kind of, basic.
What is a Spock derivative clone?
Kind of a basic bitch choice on my part. I do admit that, come on, Data's one of your favorite characters. But yeah, Data's one of my favorite characters.
Wesley, right?
That took a long time. that took a long time before I liked Wesley.
Why not Wesley?
Wesley was so obviously on the show so that 9-year-olds would feel like they had someone on the crew.
Scrappy-Doo, I get it.
Scrappy-Doo. Thank you. I don't blame Will Wheaton. The role was there. They offered it to him. He wanted to do it. And I'm a big fan of Will Wheaton now. But I always felt that Wesley made it a kiddie show.
Oh, wow, okay.
And I hated that. I wanted a more adult show.
A more fully functional show.
Yeah, you're not wrong. And when we lose Jean-Luc Picard, we're losing the heart and brain and spine of the show.
Hey, hot take. Maybe Picard wanted to be assimilated.
Honestly, here's what I was thinking, going off that, because that's a good hot take. I thought this show would be so different from every other show that had ever been made if they made this change of Picard being assimilated to a Borg permanently.
That's what I thought at first. Yeah. I mean, obviously, you've seen Sergeant Picard, but
right.
And I know this is a 2-part episode, but how cool would it be if the captain of the ship became a villain, and that was the changing of the show?
The #1 villain, too.
One of my favorite shows of all time, which doesn't really have its time anymore, is The Shield. And the reason why I like it, because every 2 seasons they find a way to break the formula. They have a formula, they establish it, and they go, you're being reassigned. Now this is the bad person. This is a good person. That's really cool. So watching, I'm like, how cool would it be if Kudikas aboard became like a villain? That's it. Full stop.
That would be so dramatic. It would be such a huge change from everything that had ever been done. And since they didn't do that, then I had to, no, see, I can't go there right away. Yeah. Because once they fix it, hey, we've ruined it for you. It's like 35 years old, this episode or something. But we ruined it for you. But once they fix it, once they bring Jean-Luc Picard back, he's never the same. So that's meaningful.
That's bullcrap.
He's never the same. It always scars him. That makes perfect sense.
So he is the same, but he has more brooding scenes. Get it?
Oh, please. So it's great that that this leaves its mark, but it also shook everything up. And we will see in the second episode that things continue to get worse for Riker, forcing him to have to make a lot of character changes. And I'm kind of digging that, because Riker doesn't have to go through a lot of character changes.
Not at all. He doesn't. He could be the same #1 swashbuckling guy who sits down weird in boardrooms and be himself. But that's really the story you want to say. When you're #1 and you're that capable, and it's the problem I had with Star Trek Strange New Worlds. You have a #1 who kind of gets into the background. Right? It's not that. For a lot of people, he is a dynamic person. The one that people tune in for, want to have him debate whether or not he's worthy of being on the Enterprise still, or move on to something else.
Yeah, and it's it's very meaningful that this whole crew is together too, and you do definitely get that feeling from Riker that he just kind of got everything where he likes it. And they got a really good crew. This is a great bunch of very special people, which of course all Star Trek crews are, except for on Voyager.
Damn, hot take.
Or Enterprise.
Well, yeah.
But these crews are very special, and you're not wrong if you're fan watching this going, I really like this crew. I really like Geordi. I like Data. I like Counselor Troy. Dr. Crusher.
Wow, she's the doctor.
I was never a big Dr. Crusher fan, but honestly, I'm one of the only people who loved Dr. Pulaski.
No, that was the one doctor. Like, what the hell she's doing there? What a grump.
Diana Muldaur. She is Star Trek royalty. She did multiple episodes of the original series.
Was the worst doctor.
I love her. Also, she brought a negativity to the crew that was lacking, and she didn't like Data. She called him Data.
Okay, that's fine, but you can't say she's a good doctor. She's the worst doctor they ever had. Ever.
Really? So super racist Dr. McCoy is okay with you?
Yeah, because he's in TOS. You can't judge that. He's untouchable. And I don't even like Phlox. And even I know Phlox is okay, but Pulaski's
okay.
the worst.
What about the doctor on Voyager, the EMH, the emergency medical?
I mean,
you don't love him? He's like one of my favorite characters.
He's like a Batista. He's there. He's got the championship a couple times, but I'm never like, yeah, Batista.
Yeah, but he's like Batista, and then he's iconic, and no one's better than him, and he's super
they're
entertaining.
Better than them. But he's iconic, yes, for that time period. He's a high spot on Voyager, but not my favorite.
Okay, all right, okay, fair enough.
I walk alone.
The beast over here.
Yeah. For those people who like Star Trek and don't watch it, like, what the hell are you doing? Batista?
Okay. Starbase 80 rules. You got to watch some wrestling. Yeah. You got to at least know who the wrestlers are. Because honestly, some of the greatest entertainers we have right now. And Dave Bautista, one of my favorites.
I walk alone inside.
We're pretty much at the end of this episode
already,
because I mean, what more is there to say? They do their best to deal with the fact that their captain has just been taken and turned into a robot zombie.
Hands down, he wanted to be taken. He was like, man, this job sucks. The Borg has a nice dental plan. I'm going for it. Because you look real close. When he gets that little like sedative, he's like, go ahead. I knew it. He wants to go.
What is wrong with
you? He wants to go.
What is wrong with you? You refused to watch season 2 of Picard, and this is why you're so wrong.
I finished it, and I totally was right the entire time. This still sucked. What were they thinking? I don't care about Q like that.
I don't even know what to say to you.
I'm just saying he wanted to be taken. He's like,
he did not want to be taken. Okay. You're blaming the victim. You're saying he was asking for it.
Oh no!
Oh, was it what he was wearing, Flobo?
He jutted his neck out. He was like, "What are you doing?" Go back and watch that on Paramount Plus. True. He jutted his neck out. Sorry,
he did not.
He jutted his neck out, and he got taken away. And I was like, "Oh, he wants to be bored." He has that. Like,
you're making it sound like Twilight.
To hell with this job. With your bad benefits and command. I am out.
Okay, this is foolishness, and I am sorry that we're bringing this to the galaxy. Flobo, so you have never seen part 1 of Best of Both Worlds?
I haven't seen either part of Best of Both. It's the first time I watched part 1.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So I'm very excited to talk with you next week here on Starbase 80, where we will be discussing Best of Both Worlds Part 2, the season premiere of season 4 for The Next Generation, Star Trek The Next Generation.
Yeah.
Any little bits that you have written down? I know the dog is really
I think that Geordi should get an award for his stunt work because he was just like and tumbled everywhere this week. This guy put his life on the line, and Riker was totally right. He had too many people trying to show how good they were at his expense. So I totally understand.
Damn. I am very much looking forward to hearing how you feel about this finale. I guess that does it this week. I want to thank special guest Flobo Boyce, our number 1 best damn first officer in the fleet, and of course Petra.
She's been making the heck out of my palms.
She's so pretty.
Yeah,
you're so pretty. That's a good girl.
There she is.
And thank you so much for joining us. Thanks for putting up with all the edits I'm going to put in this. because this is just such a disjointed episode. I have no idea how long it is.
Oh, this is right there.
Where? Oh, hey, look at us. We came in at basically 38 minutes. But again, I don't know how much of this is going to make the final episode.
Probably 20 minutes. So why not? Hey, girl. Hey.
So for Flobo Boys and Petra, the Wonder Pup. Oh, you're so pretty. And for me, Captain John. Thanks for